Let's take you to the Free State. The Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein will today hear President Cyril Ramaphosa's appeal against the High Court ruling that invalidated his recognition of King Misuzulu kaZwelithini as the rightful heir to the throne. The appeal comes after Judge Norman Davis's December 2023 judgment, which found flaws in the process that Ramaphosa followed in identifying and crowning King Misuzulu, declaring that recognition unlawful. Watching developments from inside court is SABC News reporter Makgala Masiteng, who joins us now live. And Makgala, this has been a protracted battle over the kingship of the AmaZulu nation. No surprises, it's also gotten a lot of attention inside that courtroom from people who are presumably members of the family.
We have seen a hive of activity since today in the morning, in the early hours. In fact, the precinct of the Supreme Court of Appeal has been surrounded with the barbed wire, and also there's a tightened security outside, and the high presence of police outside. As you can tell, inside the court already there's a lot of movement. As you can see already, members of the families have arrived from the side of those, of course, in support of King Misuzulu kaZwelithini. They were the first ones to arrive, and also accompanied there by the son of the late Makgala, as well as Tulani Zulu. As we refer back, Ayanda, just before this appearance, we've had seen some kind of communication from these two sides of the family, coming from the royal family, with the spokesperson of the royal family, Tulani Zulu. There was a statement that was released where they were somehow allaying the fears in terms of the appearances today and tomorrow, saying that what is in question here is the recognition by the President of South Africa, but not necessarily challenging the kingship of King Misuzulu kaZwelithini. So what they said in that statement is that people, or rather the Zulu nation, shouldn't be worried that the kingship is under threat, because today the matter is just focused on that recognition matter, not necessarily the identification and the installation of the king as it was done in May in 2021 by the royal family. However, we understand that there was also a communication from the side of the other royal members of the family, as you have seen since the beginning of this court action, that there were members of the family, of course, who were opposed to that installation of King Misuzulu kaZwelithini, as well as the recognition by the President of South Africa, which then happened later in October in 2021, where among others Prince Mbonisi Beki Themba Kabeki Zulu is one of the people who put in that those applications. As you can see on the right is that those ones who are in support, of course, of King Misuzulu kaZwelithini, and the other side is also supporting the other side of the members of the royal family. But what is in question here, as we have said in the intro there, Ayanda, is the fact that the President on this matter is appealing that judgment that was delivered in December in 2023, which set aside the recognition of Misuzulu kaZwelithini Zulu as the king of AmaZulu. But there's also there's going to be a cross appeal on this matter, because as much as President is appealing that part of the judgment, there's also a part where the court also declined to set aside the identification of the new king as it was done by the Zulu royal family in May 2021. That is the part that the other family members are also opposing, where they say that when the court found that the recognition by the President was unlawful and that the processes were fault, they should have also set aside the identification of the king as it was done, of course, by the Zulu royal family in May 2021. So those are some of the details that we're expecting to come out here. As we see, they try to convince the five justices here at the Supreme Court of Appeal. As you have indicated, this actually is going to go for 2 days, today and tomorrow, because of how long it is, even the list of the appellants and the respondents on this matter, Ayanda. It's a long list of those who are representing the people who are, of course, fighting on this matter over the recognition by the president, but also the other members are still opposing the installation of King Misuzulu, kaZwelithini on this matter. So we'll see how that goes. It will start around 9:45 here at the Supreme Court of Appeal, where we're expecting those 5 judges, of course, to listen to this matter, as the president will be the one leading this appeal, appealing against that judgment that was delivered by North Gauteng High Court. But then there will be opposing side, of course, coming from the other royal members of the family who are opposing his application, his appeal, and also cross-appealing the judgment, the same judgment that was delivered in December 2023, where they are saying that they should also set aside the identification and the installation of King Misuzulu, kaZwelithini. I haven't seen him, but we have learned that he is also here, and he will be here for 2 days for these proceedings. But we'll keep you updated, of course, on the details and what is transpiring here at the Supreme Court of Appeal.